behalf of the National Entrepreneur Center and Orange County Government, welcome to Main Street Profiles, a program that can help you discover the secrets of turning a good idea into a successful business. Our guests are typically entrepreneurs, business owners, and community leaders here to share their stories, their knowledge, and their secrets, which just might help you make your business dreams come true. I'm your host, Jerry Ross, and thanks for joining us today. On today's show, we're going to be chatting with Mr. John Davis, the president of the African American Chamber of Commerce of Central Florida, to learn more about his journey to success and how that might help you and your business success. So let's get started. Hello, Mr. Davis.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me here.
Well, I want to start out just to talk about what the African American Chamber does.
Well, we serve as a leading advocate as well as the preeminent organization here in Central Florida on behalf of black businesses in the area of wealth management, economic empowerment, as well as business development.
Wow, that's quite a task you have. How do you do all that?
Well, I'll tell you, we through the membership, the community, and individuals who have played an intricate role in where this organization has been able to come from, and where we'll continue to strive to go forward and being the best that we can be.
Excellent. Well, is it? Can anybody join the chamber?
Absolutely, absolutely. I know there's a perception at times that because we're the African American Chamber of Commerce, that for whatever reason that we only consist of black businesses. But the fact of the matter is we have our mission and our vision, and of course our focus is on making sure that black businesses are in a position to be as effective and as successful as possible. But our doors are open to any and all who would definitely buy into doing the things that are necessary to be a part of our culture here and helping black businesses as well as their business flourish here in Central Florida.
So what kind of things do you do? Do you have events? Are there connections that you make?
Yes, sir. We provide various sorts of programming for our clients, which I like to call them, being our members as well as our corporate partners.
Right.
And some of the things that we we offer business after-hour networking opportunities for our members, which give them a chance to be able to network, to exchange business cards as well as ideas and things in which they can do here within Central Florida. We also offer much of what we do focus around what we call our 4 pillars. And our 4 pillars are when we're dealing with advocacy as well as access to capital and contractual opportunities as well as entrepreneur training. With those things, that's where we have been able to design and help shape the various programs in which we're able to provide. With that, we offer seminars, we offer workshops, we offer entrepreneur one-on-one training, and of course being there at the NEC gives us an opportunity to be able to maximize the resources of our partners there as well.
Well, I was going to say, as a partner at the National Entrepreneur Center, I've attended several of your events, some trainings and some of the networking events, and it's great to see. I didn't realize that it was the 4 pillars at work.
Yes, sir.
How you work with the businesses, and then some of them have been about financing and the personal accounting, but also access to capital to grow the business. Is there capital out there? Is that happening? I know that's been difficult for a while.
Yes, sir. I think the tables are beginning to turn. And
that's
I think
good news.
Absolutely, I think it's beginning to turn, and you know, through the recession times, the tough times that we've all experienced, not just here in Florida, but throughout the entire United States and even over the world. It's taken some time, but I think when you think about the human, the American folks here, we're extremely resilient, yes. And individuals have stayed steadfast, and it's been tough, but through times, I think that the banks are starting to lend again, and we also have partnership with the BBIF, the Black Business Investment Funds, which also creates opportunities for our business partners
and they have
to be able to
programs
obtain.
for accessing capital there.
Absolutely,
Great.
absolutely, and that's it's important for us to continue to work together, not just with them, but with other partners as well. Banks throughout the Central Florida area, in which are part of our corporate structure to be able to create for us to serve as that conduit of making sure that we bring these partners in. We're able to provide these workshops and seminars where they get a chance to meet our clients, being other members within the partnership of the chamber.
Right, because having been a small businessman myself, sometimes you just feel so alone, and you think you're the only one that's out there dealing with that. But by being a member of the chamber, you find you're not alone, and you're not the only one having that experience.
Yeah.
Is that one of the strengths of the chamber?
You're absolutely correct. I think in being that conduit, we have access to. We're able to be able to play a role on behalf of our members, as well as the government officials, and being that liaison and that conduit where we have the best of all worlds.
Right.
We have our membership, we have our corporate partners, and we also have access to be able to work with our leaders in various levels of government throughout the entire country, as well as other corporations. And it's our role and responsibility to make sure that our partners and our members have the opportunity to know what's coming, to know what's coming down the pike, to know what's taking place right now, to understand the trends, as well as having access to various resources. And so those things are important for us and here at the chamber. And it's always a lot of fun and a lot of good work to be done.
And there's a lot of work to be done.
Yes, sir.
Do you think this is a good time to be a small business in Central Florida?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think, as I mentioned earlier, with the fact that the economy has picked up, and I think nowadays, when you think about Florida in general, tourism has been something that has really driven our economy here, as well as the housing market. And I think, and today we'll continue to be the leading tourist destination, hopefully, and I know Visit Orlando and many other organizations are doing a good job to make sure that we're on top of our game there. But I think the governor and other officials are doing all the things that are necessary to make sure that businesses are seeing Florida as the destination. And Central Florida, I think, is ripe and prime to be the next boom. When you think about the manufacturing opportunities, the healthcare industry, you begin
Medical City.
Medical City. I mean, you got educational.
Corridor Council.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All of those things. I like the way you think.
Yes, absolutely.
So I can see why you're in the position you're in. What drew you to that position?
Well, I'll tell you, the opportunity, I'm from my background being a Floridian here, and the opportunity to giving back has always been something that's been paramount to me. I was raised in the church, and just growing up the way I did, it's always looking at ways in which you can help individuals be the best that they can be. And with that, and the opening came about here when the previous president resigned, and with that, I just saw this as another opportunity for me to be able to give back. I see this role as me giving back to our community by helping others, and those others are being our small businesses, as well as working with our corporate partners to make our community a better place for us all.
Well, we're going to be talking in the next segment a little bit about your background, but we appreciate having you here and what you're doing for the Chamber. How does someone get more information on the Chamber? How do they get connected?
Well, there are various ways. You can visit our website at www.blackcommerce.org, or you can like us on Facebook, or you can follow us on Twitter, or you can just call the office at 407-420-4870.
Wonderful. Well, I see that we're coming up on a break here, but when we come back, we're going to talk about some of your background and your personal history.
Thank you.
It's time for a short break, and when we come back, we'll be discussing the personal journey that led John Davis to be the president of the African American Chamber of Commerce of Central Florida, and we'll be right back with more. Welcome back. You're watching Main Street Profiles, where you can uncover the secrets of turning a good idea into a successful business. I'm your host, Jerry Ross, and we've been talking with Mr. John Davis, president of the African American Chamber of Commerce of Central Florida. Now it's time to hear a little bit about his personal story. So, John, let's start off with, what did you dream of being when you grew up?
Well, I tell you, being from a little small town that I'm from down in Palm Beach County, Pahokee,
Pahokee.
Florida. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's Pahokee, Florida.
How old were you before you could spell Pahokee?
Well, I tell you, since most of us, I would have to say probably about 6.
That's right. It took me a little while to learn how to spell Portsmouth
Yes.
in Ohio.
Yes,
So
sir.
what did you dream of being?
Well, I tell you, growing up in that little small town, it's a lot of athletics there on what they call the muck. When you have little small towns, Pahokee and Belglades, and growing up in that area, you got a lot of football players come out of that neck of the woods, a lot of athletes, and so. Typical, as most individuals growing up there, I wanted to be a football player.
Yeah.
And it's something that I saw happen early on, and that's pretty much, it's an agriculture, a lot of migrant workers there. So that's not much to do there in Pahokee. A lot of love.
Who are your sports? I wanted to be Jim Brown when I was growing up, so that shows my age. Who did you want to be?
Well, I tell you, growing up there in Pahokee, Ricky Jackson.
Ricky Jackson
is from Pahokee, and I wanted to be like Ricky, due to the fact that he was from Pahokee. He was at the University of Pittsburgh, and he was an All-American, and went on to play in the NFL for a lot of years and won the Super Bowl. And he was someone in which you definitely, many of the kids that growing up wanted to be the next Ricky Jackson or Andre Waters. Growing up the way and playing safety, the safety position, definitely Andre Waters was an individual that I admired as well.
Oh yeah.
And later in life, Louis Oliver, as I got older and towards my senior year, was an individual, and it was the reason I wore the number 18. He was from Belglades, Florida, so he was definitely an idol as well.
And so, how long did you play football?
I played football my entire life for the most part. Growing up there playing football there in the projects of Pahokee, and was fortunate enough to obtain a full scholarship to Florida State University.
The Florida State University.
The Florida State University, and was fortunate enough to play for Coach Bobby Bowden there for 4 years.
Yeah.
And was blessed, and after Florida State, I was actually invited to camp out in New Orleans when Coach Jim Moore was there, in which they never signed me, but I was there for a week and 2 days, and ended up signing with the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the Canadian Football League.
And so you played professional football.
I had the opportunity to be there, and they cut me. As we say cut in our world, but I was released there and back to Tallahassee and began my career after football.
Well, what did you learn from being part of a sports team or being part of a football team?
Well, I'll tell you, growing up the way I did and being, it's teamwork. I mean, it's definitely something. I think there's such, various characteristics that are built in which are instilled in individuals, and even to this day. That desire to be the best, that desire to never quit, that desire to recognize that there are others who can help you be the best that you can be, to be able to listen and to just be disciplined. The level of discipline that is instilled in you is second to none.
So it was good training for actually being the president of the African American Chamber, right?
Absolutely, it definitely was, and I wouldn't change that experience for nothing in the world.
Did you like school? Any particular subjects that you?
Yes, sir. I actually was a pretty good student.
Yeah.
Growing up in Pahokee, graduated top 5 in my class, and I top 5% of my class, and I was always an A/B student. Enjoyed school. I think growing up there, my favorite subject was probably home ec. Only kidding. But I did take home ec class.
I was going to go with that one. I was going to ask about it.
I did take home ec because, as most athletes back then, we just wanted to have the opportunity to be able to eat and to meet the young ladies that were in the classes at the time.
There was a strategy to doing that.
Absolutely, but I think I enjoyed history more so than anything, and hence the political science degree that I obtained at Florida State University.
Well, in my high school, when you played football, they made sure that you got to class and got good grades. So was that part of the school there to say, in order to play football, you've got to have some good grades?
Well, I'll tell you, it's always been something that's been there, and that in itself was instilled in me early on in life. My mom and my grandparents, in which I kind of grew up with early on, always I remember both my grandparents, telling me, hey, you go to school, you get a good education, and be able to be a successful individual and to take care of your family.
Right.
And they really didn't have that opportunity, and that was the thing, about those previous generations and the way I grew up. They were always concerned about making sure that that next generation had it better than what they did, and I think we definitely got to get back to that of making sure that we are positioning ourselves for our future generation to be in position to become the next leaders.
That's wonderful. Who had the most impact on you as a child?
I would have to say my mom. I grew up with my mom, and she was a hard worker. I mean, she's an individual who I saw did everything that she could to make sure that my brothers and sisters and that we all were loved and had the things that we needed. I think she raised us in the church. I say more so than anything, and that's been the rock solid foundation to help shape the man that I am today. Coming up in the church. Back then. Growing up, I mean, I tell you, I was sick of it. It was seemed like it was church 7 days a week. But as you get older, you start to realize, the values that are taught and the morals that you're able to obtain definitely prepares you to be the person that you are and that I am today.
I've heard a saying one time that said, as you get older, you realize your parents weren't so crazy after all.
You're absolutely correct.
You mentioned brothers and sisters. How many brothers and sisters did you have?
I'm the oldest of six. My mom had five, and my father had a daughter. And matter of fact, I was just up in Michigan, up in Kalamazoo, a couple of weeks ago, and got a chance to spend some time with my sister and my father and his new wife.
Always great to spend time with family.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a fascinating story, but we're running close on time here on this break. But we're going to come back and talk about that experience that you've had and all of those jobs that you've had to say, what advice do you have for our viewers?
Okay.
We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we want to discuss some of the lessons learned from John Davis along the way and have him share his advice with you, our viewers. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Main Street Profiles, where you can discover the secrets of turning a good idea into a successful business. I'm Jerry Ross, and today we're talking with John Davis, the president of the African American Chamber of Commerce of Central Florida. Mr. Davis, we've talked about your background, we've talked about what you do for a living. Today, right now, let's talk about some of your insights, your vision, and some of those lessons learned that you might want to share with our viewers.
Yeah, well, I am, again, I'm just fortunate to be in this position, to be given this opportunity to head up the African American Chamber of Commerce here in Central Florida. And some things that we're really focused on right now is making sure that we, here in the first year, is our organizational excellence piece. Of just making sure that we are able to stabilize, our system and put the proper structure and the right processes in place for long-term growth and sustainability.
So if someone is out there looking to start a new business, what advice would you have for them based on what you've learned and your experience of doing?
Well, I'll give you a quick story.
Sure.
The first company that I actually started, a buddy of mine, my best friend from college, Terrell Buckley. Terrell played 14 years in the NFL, and we were down in Fort Lauderdale, down in Davie is where he lived. So we decided that we wanted to start our own company and train professional athletes as well as do football camps and things of that nature. It's something that we could do, something that we knew.
You had knowledge of?
Absolutely. So we wanted to do it. And we moved forward to get started with the company. But there are some things that when I look at lessons learned, we had a plan, but we did not have the proper blueprint in place. And we had resources. And we learned quickly that your personal resources can only take you but so far. When you're having to pay your staff and you're not taking income for yourself, and then you learn quickly that you need to have access to capital. So I say all of that to say in today's time, I think if we would have known more about the chambers at the time, and we had done the proper research before we started our business, we would definitely been in a better position. And I would encourage any and everyone, if you're looking to start a business, or even if you have a current business, to definitely call up the local chamber, spend some time here, and call the NEC.
Maybe even visit the National Entrepreneur Center.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think being able to come over to the NEC, and you would be amazed at the resources that we have there, and the partnerships and the collaboration that takes place at the NEC to be able to assist, whether it's an entrepreneur, startup company, or a company that's been in existence for quite some time.
So it's not enough to just have a knowledge that you want to share with others. There's that whole business element of marketing and finances. Did you have that in place, or was that something that you knew a little bit about? But expand on that piece of what are the resources that you need?
Well, I think anytime you're looking to start a company or any business, of course, it starts with a vision. I mean, I tell anybody, one of the things I encourage individuals to continue to dream, believe in, and you're able to achieve those things and that vision and those dreams that you may have. But make sure you do your homework. And what I mean by doing your homework is, if you're going to start a business, and then you need to understand what the climate is at the time for the services that you're going to provide. You got to make sure that you look at to see if there are other companies or individuals that are already doing what you're wanting to do. So are you going to be selling a commodity service, or are you going to have a niche product that is different and is able to stand out? So all those things are very important to do, and make sure that business plan is intact, and that you have a plan that you're able to go into some funding source, and they see that business plan as a viable opportunity to be able to obtain certain resources. Now, again, I think, and I would encourage any and everyone to definitely spend some time and come over and visit us, as well as the other chambers and our partners over at the National Entrepreneur Center. And we're definitely grateful to be under that umbrella. And even when we have members or individuals that may call us up, and there are certain things that they may be looking for, by being there, we're able to transfer or to introduce them to other partners.
Walk them down the hallway.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's they know a lot about that particular subject, but sometimes you don't know what you need in finance, or you need some help in marketing. Is there anything that you see at the chamber that's been kind of a trend of what people are either having challenges with, or a trend of people that are looking at to say, this is what I want to get into?
Right. Yes, I think there are a couple of things. No matter what the business is, you're generally looking for access to capital.
Okay.
Being able to have access to capital is something that is extremely important. As I said before, you can have a vision. You can even do all the things that are necessary to make sure that blueprint is in place to be the best company there is. But then you need to be able to obtain, to have access to capital to do the things that you need to do, whether it's making payroll or just putting the proper structure in place for your business. And then with that, contractual opportunities. And when you think about the Black community and many of our Black businesses, there are a lot of individuals that have construction companies and do provide many other services. So contractual opportunities is another area of making sure that we understand what the process is to be able to obtain various contractual opportunities in businesses here, whether it's in Central Florida or anywhere.
Is this a good time for someone to start a business?
I think it is. I think it's, there are climates sometimes can dictate when to start a business, and many times it depends on what you're looking to do. Sometimes the time may not be right for you to start the business at that time. But I'm always encouraging individuals to be entrepreneurs. I like to, I've said it on numerous times. I can remember growing up, the way I grew up in many respects. I mean, you grew up a little poor and not don't quite have access to various resources, you're kind of taught, you know, to go to school, get a good education, to position yourself to get a good job when you leave college,
Right.
go work for IBM or whatever company it's going to be, and
Right.
retire, you
That
know,
was
to
the
work up
story.
the corporate ladder. And I think, you know, there were some other friends and individuals that I've seen and I'm a learning experience just through time where, you know, some individuals, and I can recall, would tell their kids, you know, to go to school, get a good education, and go work for this company and learn and understand what that business is about so you can go start your own business.
Right.
And
So
entrepreneurship
just
and
because you
ownership,
like coffee doesn't mean you should go out and start a coffee shop.
that is true. That is true.
Maybe you should work in one for a while, or
Absolutely.
test the roasting a bean.
Yes, and I think it's always important to definitely understand what business is all about, and just you know, and once you're able to get a taste of what it's about, and then you still need to make sure that the time is right for you, and if you have a desire to be able to start a company, and I think entrepreneurship is a beautiful thing.
It is. And so, any advice for someone visiting the Chamber of Commerce? Any advice for the person that has an existing business who's looking for support?
Yeah, I think again, I would definitely circle back to we would love the opportunity to be able to interact and to be able to welcome all of our businesses or individuals who even anticipate on being an entrepreneur to join the chamber. And we would encourage all individuals. You can even join our chamber as an individual to get information and to know what's taking place here in our community as it relates to entrepreneurship and commerce.
Well, we certainly appreciate what you're doing for not only the black businesses for our community, but for the African American Chamber of Commerce, and for being a partner at the National Entrepreneur Center. But I see we're out of time, and I just wanted to thank you. I know how busy you are, and I wanted to thank you for the time that you've given us here today.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having us here, and on behalf of the Chamber, we're grateful and blessed to have this opportunity.
So once again, I would like to thank Orange County government and the National Entrepreneur Center for their ongoing support of our business community here in Central Florida, which includes this show. And finally, I want to thank you for what you do each and every day to make our community a great place to live, work, and play. And so until next time, I'm Jerry Ross, and I will see you on Main Street.